Guys, this is now part two of simulation two. Part two, in terms of the WebEx, but I'm now up to part five. I actually forgot it when I was doing the first part of it, but I realized we do have part five. Now, this time, instead of having two columns with 35 numbers each, I'd like to have two columns with 1,000 numbers each. So these ran between 0, 9. I'm going to drag this over to create the second number. Again, they're not pairs, they're just near each other by coincidence. And I'm going to pull this down till row number 1,000. Oops. Too far. Oh, really 1,001 because we have to, that's 1,000 pairs of random numbers. Now, it turns out that it's much easier to do this in StatCrunch. So I'm going to File, Save As. Let's see, where should we go? Save As, Browse, Files, Classes, 2334, Simulations. This will be Simulation 2. Part 2. Output. Okay. Now, let's get out of this. We're still, oh, did I share video? I'm sorry. I think I forgot to share the video. So let's go back and do that without having to start the video again. Just drag up the file. And it goes really quickly. This was the file that we just did. Okay, so I pulled in the first one, ran between 0 to 9. I pulled it over to create this other number. And then I dragged them down. So we now have 1,000 pairs of numbers. That's all we have here. I save the file. I'm now going to go into StatCrunch. Open StatCrunch. You have to type in your credentials, which you did already. And you go to Data, Load, From File, on my computer, and you browse it. And if I'm lucky, here it goes. It takes me right here, but you'll have to look for it, of course. Open and upload. And if all goes well, we should have 1,000 pairs of numbers in StatCrunch. Now, so here we have 1,000 pairs of numbers. They're random numbers. At this point, they probably won't change because that was only happening in. Okay. Now, you go to Stat, as we almost always do. T-Stat, because we're doing the two-sample T-test, two-sample, with data. We have the 2,000 numbers. The values in one column is column 1. The other one is column 2. Column 2. We want to do pool the variances. It's an important thing to check off because that's basically done when you believe the two variances are equal and they're coming from very similar populations, and they are. We're not doing hypothesis testing. Part 5 asks you to calculate a confidence interval. And in fact, there's a 90% confidence interval to correspond to the 10% alpha that we used in part 1. And I think that's all we need before we hit compute. And we have this result. It goes anywhere from minus 0.13, let's say minus 0.14, to positive 0.28. And this is the raw material that you need to answer parts 5. And parts 6, 7, and 8 are asking you to explain what you're seeing here, to talk a little more about p-values, etc. Okay, so hopefully that's addendum helps you with parts 5, 6, 7, and 8, at least part 5. 6, 7, and 8 you might have to uh, think about. Go to ChatGPT. You want to be very advanced, but really look at the videos that I made that discuss hypothesis testing, confidence intervals on the YouTube videos that I'm going to link to this video as well in the WebEx list of videos. Okay,